It all happened a long time ago. There was an idea, a thought, of going back in time and remembering what farming had been like for thousands of years. Leaving the fertile soil to produce what grows naturally without any intervention, of letting farmers be farmers again, allowing them to show devotion to their work and the crops they grow, and to provide for their families with the proceeds of what they produce on their land. And further, were there any like-minded people who were just as enthusiastic about these ideas? And were they willing to participate and become part of a large family?
We met around 23 years ago. He asked me if I would grow herbs for him. After a short deliberation, we decided to give it a go. And I have been growing herbs for SONNENTOR ever since. We had nothing and Johannes had nothing. So we worked together and grew together. After several attempts to find business partners, I contacted Johannes Gutmann, who welcomed me with open arms. We've had a very good and warm relationship right from the beginning.
Even if it was hard at the beginning, Johannes Gutmann's beliefs convinced others, and soon the first farmers who shared his enthusiasm were located.
Ja, hallo Hannes, grüß
Hallo,
dich.
grüß euch. Servus,
Schön, dass du gekommen bist.
das freut mich. Danke für die Einladung.
Yes, we want to grow herbs. This is where our hearts, our passion and our energy are. For me, going out to the fields is like meditating. I know that when I go out there and plant seeds and come back after 2 or 3 weeks, they will have come up. You just stand there and think, ah, it's a miracle.
He had achieved what many had thought impossible. Johannes Gutmann met more and more farmers who already grew or were keen to start growing herbs without any artificial interference in Waldviertel, Muldviertel, and later on, far beyond these regions. Independent farmers who do what they do best, cultivate high quality, entirely organic plants in return for a fair price.
The added value of organic is simply the mental change. You have to think differently. You have to think a bit more coherently.
Bio ist bestimmt kein Modewort. Bio ist...
Organic is definitely not a buzzword. Organic is quite an important part of life, of nutrition and of lifestyle.
Johannes Gutmann called his newly found and steadily growing family SONNENTOR, gateway to the sun.
I grew up on a farm in the Waldviertel area, and I learned how to cooperate with organic farmers in the long term. I understood their values and added them up. This is how the SONNENTOR family came to life.
As soon as the first rays of the sun warm the earth in spring and the snow retreats from the fields, it is time to cultivate the soil. Seedlings which have been carefully raised in warm tunnel houses for several weeks must now prove themselves in the great outdoors. They're mostly planted by hand in the nutritious soil of our fields.
Of course, it's true that this form of production is also associated with manual labor, but it is not necessarily burdensome. It can also be fun. Manual work is certainly not easy, but it also means connection with the soil and the farm.
Some varieties are planted by machine, but only where it saves toil, time and cost, and only on condition that the natural cycle will not get disturbed.
We must be very careful with the plowing, so that we don't squash the soil, and so that the worms and beetles are not damaged.
Good results are only achieved if fields are well maintained throughout the year. This involves loosening the soil, weeding, and keeping a close eye on growth.
The loving attention the farmers give to their fields and their diligence in their work, that is what we feel and see in an excellent harvest.
Then, when the fields have decked out their plentiful tables, it's harvest time. Some crops are ready as early as June, others in the last weeks of August. Harvest season is a time of joy, reaping the rewards for what has been nurtured for months. I hope the weather will hold until we have brought in the crop, can be heard over and over again in the days and weeks leading up to the harvest. And indeed, it is often only a matter of a few days that must be used in order to bring in the crops before they could be jeopardized by a change in the weather. Once the harvest is in, the drying and processing can begin. Here too, manual work means quality. No machine in the world can replace the hands that gently handle flowers and herbs, and no device will do as a substitute for the eyes that are needed to check the produce for maturity and purity. Flowers and leaves are carefully dried to preserve their natural flavors and to maintain an attractive appearance. Only the very best are used in SONNENTOR products. During the wintertime, when frost dictates that the ground must rest, it is busy in the houses of the SONNENTOR farmers. During this time, crops that were dried in the fall are now packed, some pure, others mixed.
We have actually just as much work in winter as in summer, only in winter it is easier, because we are able to sit down when we are working. It is Johannes Gutmann's philosophy that as much as possible is done on the farm. I believe that this is a great opportunity for our farming business. We can live on what we produce on our farm. And everything the farmers don't want to or cannot do on their farms, we do here in Sprögnitz.
The attentive eyes of quality control monitor every step of the SONNENTOR production, beginning with cultivation, which is only bestowed upon farmers who forego the use of chemical pesticides and commercial fertilizers, right through to the microbiological analysis of the incoming raw material by an independent accredited laboratory. And the fragrances that fill the air in these areas are delightful indicators for the nose as to what the taste buds are going to experience when enjoying our teas, herbs, and spices.
Not everything can be grown in Austria, because we do not have the climate zones. And so I set out very early to get to know like-minded people beyond the Austrian borders.
No, it's both for small farmers to grow them up, to earn enough money for the family and everything.
People are doing the same things everywhere, whether it is India, Tanzania, China or South America. People everywhere are longing for good work and family values.
In Romania, SONNENTOR initiated the first Demeter project in the country and still guides it to this day.
The cultivating, especially in Romania, especially the forest fruits, the content of vitamins and the essential oils of it are very high, very good quality.
The product is so high because most of the time we have seminars with our farmers how to have a quality product.
Most of the products, as I mentioned, are because the farmer gives a lot of soul. That means
these are all ethical products and gifts of nature that we are privileged to be able to offer in our SONNENTOR shops here in Sprögnitz and around the world.
There is something for every taste. Packaging, made from renewable raw materials, protects fragrance and flavor all the way through to the cooking pot and the teacup.
Wir haben seit 1992 in Tschechien SONNENTOR.
In 1992 we established a SONNENTOR subsidiary with the same values and philosophy in the Czech Republic. We specialize in the production of tea bags. We make all the SONNENTOR tea bags.
Even like we can see, maybe I'll tell him that you close your eyes and try really good tea from SONNENTOR and just let me know what you feel.
So Japanese understand what is organic. It's most.
They can really touch it and or use it, and they can really feel it and it's good for their body.
We win every blind tasting. I can't say anything against it, and there is no need to say anything for it, because SONNENTOR products are always a success.
Johannes Gutmann's philosophy and the code of conduct for the SONNENTOR family is health, enjoyment and a clear conscience towards people and the environment. The SONNENTOR family is one that values not only cooperation and the exchange of ideas, but also the culture of celebration and tradition.
My old leather pants are part of our story. I found them in the attic of the farmhouse I grew up in. With them I have established my business. With this old pair of leather pants, I've learned how to tell the stories of the farmers. These pants ground me. I know where I belong, and I also know so well where I'm going to.
The work of Johannes Gutmann and SONNENTOR is far-reaching, and it is of benefit to many.
It's everything. It's the sun. It's the gate of sun. Yes, it's for me. It's changing life radically.
Wonderful, organic, more humanic. Wonderful.
For me, there is a very special atmosphere at SONNENTOR. Everything fits. You come inside and you feel, yes, I'm home.